Alright, my friends, we back with a beautiful video on Greg Doucette, my friends. Greg Doucette, the gym, lifting, recruiting, fitness gear slave himself, is doing a video on Eddie Hall. Yes, Borowski. And I'm going to do a reaction to this video. So Greg Doucette says, calling out Eddie Hall BS. Alright.
We're going to use Coach Greg's laser eyes to tell you.
You're over 30%.
Eddie is obese, nearly morbidly obese. But listen, you didn't
I'm going to have to agree with Greg there. He is he's overly obese.
talk about the steroids. Coach Greg, in today's video, I'm calling out Eddie Hall.
Bruh.
I'm sorry, Eddie, but you made and posted a video, and you said you went from 28% body fat to 20% body fat. And you did so from eating
Wait a second, 167 to 59? That's not very much.
steak for 90.
So he went on an elimination diet as a carnivore animal. So this carnivore animal called Eddie Beast, this human carnivore, went on an elimination diet where he just ate his meat, but he eliminated all these other foods, fruits, vegetables, and whatever else he's eating there. Apparently, I don't know. It didn't seem like it was complete to me. He still had these powders and weird tablets and shit, whatever. But whatever, man. And so I guess he lost some of his fake sarcoplasmic muscles, glycogen stores that build his muscles. Okay. Still on steroids, right? Yeah.
Days. But listen, you didn't talk about the steroids.
What about the steroids?
I mean, I'm just saying what everyone's thinking. Well, no, everyone's thinking you don't need to actually follow that diet, that you could have had vegetables and fruits and you still would have lost them.
Wait a second. What do you mean he could have had vegetables and fruits and he still would have lost the weight? No, he wouldn't. Steroids don't build muscles. They absorb carbohydrates. That's what they do. They absorb carbs in there. That's how they're built, through the sarcoplasm.
Consider this. You went from 370 to 350 while dropping.
Yeah, look how obese he is. He's so obese. Then you see him here on the right. It says 167, 159. I don't know what he really lost here. I don't know what's going on here. This looks very strange.
8% body fat. And so while depleting your glycogen stores,
Depleting the sarcoplasm, yes, of glycogen stores, the fake phony sarcoplasmic hypertrophied muscles, yes. Greg.
no carbs and so on, you managed to put on 14 pounds of muscle.
Then he managed to put on 14 pounds of what? What kind of muscles? Sarcoplasmic muscle? Fake muscles? Taking steroids?
While dropping 33 pounds of fat. And that's just what?
Did he drop 33 pounds of fat? I don't know. I don't know.
I've been on the carnivore diet for 3 months. I feel absolutely incredible.
What do you mean you've been on a carnivore diet? You mean you've been on an elimination diet? You've been eating carnivore your entire life, you idiot. Are these people fucking for real, man? Are they fucking that stupid? Look, man, is Greg Doucette and this fool Eddie the Beast, are they both retarded? Are they both from La La Land, man? Come on. You're fucking been eating meat your entire life, and then they call it carnivore diet. What the fuck, man? You're on an elimination diet. You eliminated the stuff that that is considered a diet, fruits, vegetables, and all this other garbage food.
Is he feeling incredible from the steroids, the cycle that he's on? Or is it from losing?
No, he feels good because he stopped eating these foods that he's not supposed to as a carnivore. That's what Greg Doucette.
20 pounds. And so is it from cutting out the fruits and vegetables, or I don't know, from cutting out the cheesecake, the ice cream, the pastries, the junk food, and so on?
Yeah, those too. They're made from plants, aren't they? Pastries and shit.
Does anyone think that he couldn't have just went on the I'm going to stop eating shit food every freaking day diet?
He did. He stopped eating fruits and vegetables, engineered fruits and vegetables that don't exist in nature, and a bunch of fake food. Yeah, Greg.
When I started this diet, it was 167.9 kilos, and my body fat was 27.
So he lost 7 kilos.
Percent.
And so is it
So what did he lose? 7 kilos? That's it? I don't know.
Just me, or is he predicting the future? Did he travel through time, and in his current state right now, this is the before? Because how many people, raise your freaking hands right now, raise the roof, think that this guy is under 20% body fat as he speaks right now? You're gonna debate me. Oh, he's got immaculate blood work. Really? Look at his physique. Let's use the eye test. Do you really think this is 20% body fat? And so,
No, he's been obese his entire life.
if this is 20% body fat, I'd hate to see the before. 27% body.
That's what's sustaining a good majority of his muscle mass. He carries a lot of fat, so it weighs down on his body on gravity, so that causes muscles to expand because you have to carry it like a weighted vest. Yeah.
That you see the size, the roundness of the face, you see the size of the stomach. This ain't 20%. This looks like a.
That's what the majority of these lifters, these so-called power lifters, these so-called strong men, they get immensely obese, carrying so much body fat weighing down on them. But here's another thing. So if the muscles fill up with sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, let's say you put on 50 pounds in the sarcoplasm gains 50 pounds of glycogen. Bro, that's a lot weighing down on your frame. So your muscles too, they have to expand somewhat. So they definitely have to expand. So if you're using steroids, they're wasting drugs. And so it's grabbing this energy because it's preventing you from wasting away. And you're eating tons and tons and tons of carbohydrates, loading it in the sarcoplasm, lifting concentrically, right? They're moving concentrically. Usually it's always concentric. They don't do eccentric work because they're performers. And then the sarcoplasm fills up because of the steroids and everything. Will that not cause, or if wearing 50 pounds of sarcoplasmic hypertrophy on your body, will that not cause your muscles to expand due to gravity? Of course it will. So that's how they build their muscles. They build muscles from the expansion, the sarcoplasm, or from also carrying a lot of fat on their body like a weighted vest. It's the same shit, bro. They never use weights to build muscle because concentric exercise, the heavier they go because of the molecule steroids pushing you to lift even heavier, will cause the myofibrillars to shrink so they can exude more force production. That's why these guys get injured all the time, because if they try to do something eccentrically, boom, it's gone because the contraction, it cannot contract on the bone, the muscle very well. The ligaments and tendons, they shrink. They don't contract well on the bone going eccentrically. See what I mean? Because they have cut that part out in their training. They don't do any eccentric work.
Bulk gone wrong.
I'm currently 159 kilos, so I've lost.
Eddie has gotten injured so many times. I think he even tore a pec or something, right? Benching or some shit.
9 kilos.
Yeah, and so 3 months on a diet when you're 370 pounds and you lose 9 kilos, about 20 pounds. Why do you think that is? Because while he was losing body fat, he was putting on muscle from taking steroids.
No, he was not building muscle from taking steroids. He was building the sarcoplasm, and that weighed down on his body. The gravity weighed down, and that caused the body to expand due to gravity. He didn't build it. The steroids, they don't build muscles, bro. And neither do concentric exercises. So a combination of concentric and steroids, there's no muscle going on there, bro. Get it? Just makes you lift heavier. Therefore, you even lose the sarcomere number in series. They shrink. They get smaller.
Does anyone think it's anything different?
Today, we're going to do.
That's why Greg Doucette is lying to all of you. He wants you to buy his Turkestron GO2 Max because you cannot build muscles lifting concentrically. Nobody can. Why would they sell you all these products to build a muscle if you could build a muscle just going and lifting weights in the gym? Why aren't you building? Why aren't you growing? Why do you have to bulk? Why do you have to get fat to build a muscle? Why do you have to do all these fake things? Because concentric exercise does not build muscles. So then they take steroids and then they pretend that they build something because they want the lift to reflect the body to reflect the lifting. They want to look big. But it's just carbohydrates. They're eating an artificial diet. Why do you think he lost weight so fast when he eliminated these carbs and he just ate meat? Why did he lose that? What was the weight that he lost? Nothing. It was the sarcoplasm. It was the glycogen. He lost it, depleted, just like Greg said, depleted of glycogen.
Dexa scans, okay?
Did he literally do this to troll me? Eddie, What are you doing to me right now?
So a DEXA scan is 100% accurate, and it measures your lean body mass, your
No, it's not. It's not 100% accurate. It cannot distinguish between sarcoplasmic hypertrophy and myofibrillar hypertrophy. Read it for yourself at PubMed.
body fat to the absolute decimal.
Accurate
No, it's not.
the decimal. Remember, he said DEXA scan. He did not say an MRI scan. MRI scan,
Exactly.
100% accurate. DEXA scan, nearly useless. It's a guess. It'd probably be more accurate by asking a child, saying, hey, how fat do you think this guy is? Oh, pretty fat. The child is not guessing 20% body fat.
So we're going to find out what my true body fat is today.
Bro doesn't even fit in the machine. Last I checked, you can only be as accurate as the machine or the person testing you. All you need to do is ask Coach Greg. We're going to use Coach Greg's laser eyes to tell you.
You're over 30%.
I know you want to be under 20%, probably want to be single-digit body fat, but you're not. You're going to convince me right now that if Eddie Hall had 0% body fat, that's far leaner than even Sebum, that he would weigh 280. Does anyone think that Eddie Hall would have 5% body fat, roughly as lean as the Mr. Olympia competitors, and weighing at 297 pounds? That he's literally bigger than Samson Dota. Notice a comparison, the side-by-side with Samson Dota. Has Samson Dota ever looked that bad in his life? No.
We're also going to be meeting with Phil Richards,
No, and they're both on steroids. No.
who is one of the best blood work doctors in the country.
He just has bad genetics, Eddie.
He,
Eddie Hall has fat genetics.
I mean, I did something ridiculous like 300 plus markers.
Now, listen to me straight. Remember, I tell you what you need to hear, not want to hear. I don't care what doctor you
That's
find.
not true. Greg tells you what he wants you to know, what he wants you to hear, not what you need to know.
What blood markers they've given you, what a kind of polypharmacy they're doing. When you're this fat, it's not healthy. It's dramatically shortening your life. And so you can scour the earth until you find a doctor
Shortening his life, being like that. Yeah.
that's going to tell you what you want to hear, and that is, oh, you're perfectly healthy. But if you want a true doctor, they're going to say, Eddie, you're 350 pounds. Men who are 350 pounds plus don't live into their 80s and 90s. And so if you want to be healthy, you need to lose weight, and no, not just 20 pounds, a lot more. And what do you think the easiest way to do that is? To stop taking steroids. You can beat around the bush, you can pretend it's not happening, but I'm telling you, he's taking steroids.
Yeah, steroids just create fake weight. It's unhealthy to carry all that glycogen in the sarcoplasm. It's nasty.
He's not natural. Describe how a man can cut out fruits and vegetables from his diet, just eat a carnivore diet, and put on 16 pounds of muscle while training for MMA. Now,
He put on 16 pounds of muscle. He didn't put on any muscle. I don't know what Greg's talking about. Maybe expand the sarcoplasm again. That's about it.
listen, I'm not saying he's not physically fit, as in he's functional. He can box, he can fight, he can swim. The guy is an elite athlete. But I'm telling you, just because you're an elite athlete doesn't mean that you're healthy on the inside. And if you're 350 pounds plus, you're not healthy. How can a Dexa scan be accurate when you literally don't fit in the Dexa scan? With these large individuals, these machines, they don't guess very well. And in particular, when body parts don't fit inside the machine, how could it be accurate?
And then I'm also training for an MMA fight / boxing fight against Mariusz Pudnowski.
And so he's ramped up.
He's going to fight Mariusz Pudzianowski. Oh, man, it's going to be funny. He's going to destroy Eddie Hall.
His training, his cardiovascular conditioning, MMA fighting, weightlifting, arm wrestling, and everything. Well, he's gotten stronger while in a calorie deficit. Remember, he's lost body fat. He's on a carnivore diet. He's dieting and getting stronger. Man is getting older. He's not as young as he once was. He certainly doesn't have newbie gains. And so explain that.
What are you talking about? He's a young guy. Fucking Pudzianowski's way older than him.
How is is he getting stronger than he has been in years while on a diet, putting on muscle, and you all just sit back and say, oh, it's got to be the carnivore diet.
This is what I
Can you prove that he's putting on real muscle? What kind of muscle he putting on, Greg? Why don't you tell us? Mention it in the video.
like 3 months ago and just a bit chubby.
Now remember, Eddie Boo has abs. He has.
Why does he want you to convince you that steroids build muscles, terkestrol, GO2 max, all these powders and potions and shit build muscles? They do not build muscles.
And when he.
Nor does concentric exercise. It does not build muscle. This is associated with a loss of muscle.
Fat, he has them when he's still fat. He always has abs. Just because you see abs doesn't mean that you're shredded. It doesn't mean you're low in body fat. It just means you have abs. Does that make sense?
He's had abs before. Didn't he do this challenge, 100 sit-ups or some shit?
Doesn't mean you're single-digit body fat. And in Eddie's case, he still has significant amounts of fat that if he wanted to be healthy, he would need to lose. The heart, it doesn't really care all that much whether that body mass that you have is in forms of muscle or if it's in forms of fat.
I don't know about you, but abs is definitely the number one thing you notice.
In the before, you let your stomach out, and in the after, you flex it. How hard is this? You stick the gut out, breathe out, and in the after, you breathe in. That is the difference that we're seeing.
In my opinion, like that is a big...
And the lighting is weird, like it's off or something. In this picture, it's more closer. That one's further back.
Big difference.
Absolutely, it's a big difference. And when you've only lost 20 pounds and you see a big difference, it's because you've added a lot of muscle. And it's from steroids.
I mean, that's the evidence there.
Steroids. Steroids don't build muscles. Get it?
So I've lost 9 kilo, but I look bigger. And my strength, and I honestly can't say this enough, my strength has gone through the roof.
Read between the lines.
Shoulder pressing 100 kilo dumbbells, hurt me tricep doing it, but I did it.
When you're on performance-enhancing drugs, the risk of injury, it's that much more. And why? Because you're getting stronger more quickly than you should be. The muscles, they...
Well, no, it's because all that shitty food he ate was preventing him. Also, it's suppressing your strength. So, yeah.
get stronger while the tendons and ligaments, they struggle to keep up. And so Eddie Hall, because of...
They don't struggle to keep up the ligaments and tendons. Dude, you idiot, Greg Doucette. You don't know anything about bodybuilding or lifting or fuck all. All you know about drugs and sticking a needle in your ass. Look, dude, concentric exercise, because you're pushing against gravity, right? Going the opposite direction. You shorten the muscle fibers. They shorten, giving you more force production. That's what they fucking do. So because they took steroids, they lift now even heavier than they would normally do naturally, okay? And so that causes more force production, and that causes the muscles to shrink even more. But the only thing he grew was his belly, his fat. He got fat in his belly and everything else. He grew the sarcoplasm. That's it. Okay, dude? So shut the F up.
Steroids, that's how he tore his triceps.
So my strength.
No, he didn't. Steroids don't tear your triceps. He tore them because they're shrinking because of the force production. He said, I'm lifting heavier now. So they're shrinking, get it? So anytime he does something in the eccentric form, if it's going down, it's going to cause him an injury because he's weak. It doesn't contract well on the bone. Shit.
Considering I'm not training for strength,
No, listen to him. I'm not training for strength. Well, you think that eccentric training is not training for strength, damaging muscle fibers, trying to get them bigger and stronger? That's strength training too, fucking, just like concentric. What the fuck? Only it's more superior. You don't get injured, you fool.
MMA fighting in a minute, my strength is through the roof.
Imagine...
No, he's going to get injured in an MMA fight. His muscles, he's like, my strength's through the roof, so I'm lifting heavier. So they're shortening even more.
if I said, hey guys, I stopped lifting weights, I'm focused on just cycling. But hey, I took 3 months off the gym, I went back to the gym, and I'm stronger in all my lifts. And oh, by the way, I'm up 16 pounds of muscle. And now remember, I know I say terkestrol is way stronger than...
He's not up 16 pounds of any myofibrillar growth muscle. Okay, shut the fuck up. He doesn't do any eccentric work. Look, Greg has these pills for you because you want to know why? Because you're building muscles, lifting concentrically. Get it? Yeah, that's why you need pills. That's why. Because lifting weights builds muscles when you go to the gym. Oops, but none of you are building. So Greg has a testosterone for you.
Creatine, but I doubt it's going to add on 16 extra pounds of muscle in only 90 days. If somebody says, I put on 16 pounds of muscle just from testosterone, they're probably lying. They probably are newbies in the gym, or perhaps they're on testosterone or taking something in secret. 16 pounds is a lot, and it's certainly not going to come from switching
I don't know if it's that much. It isn't muscle he's gaining, okay? Shut up.
diets.
Probably the strongest I've been for the last, I don't know, 4 years.
I mean, do I need to keep piling on the evidence? Saying Eddie Hall jumped on a cycle, that's a stretch. Does anyone doubt me? Oh, and for the testosterone, yeah, you know by now, we're the only
Eddie's always been on a cycle. What are you talking about?
lab that was tested that actually had testosterone from the Ajuga turkistanica plant. Other companies, well, let's just say they're lying. Of course they're lying.
Why do you have to cycle these steroids? Don't they build muscles? Why do you have to cycle them? Oh, because you're shrinking. Why are you shrinking? You didn't build anything there. Shut up. Testosterone's not going to build you any muscle either, lifting concentrically, dudes. You're all wasting your money. You're shrinking your muscles the heavier you go.
Lying.
Even though there are some in there, it's at such a low level, we don't even know what plant are in these products at this point because it's not matching either of the major compounds that you can detect.
And so if you want to
They don't build muscles. They don't build muscles. Eccentric exercise builds muscles, but not concentric and not this testosterone. That's for sure. You're just wasting your money.
get the actual testosterone from Uzbekistan, you know where to go. And remember, we have
That's why everybody's failing. They're still failing. Listen, they're taking creatine, you're taking testosterone, and you're still failing.
the money back guarantee and the $20 gift card in case you aren't happy with the results. Code Greg, 15% off.
Now I'm going to start implementing little bits of fruit, little bits of veg, and this is just for me.
And so now that the 90 days are
brother.
over, Eddie Hall is now switching diets. He's going to add in fruits and he's going to add in vegetables. And so he's going to do what he should have done in the beginning. I don't understand why people
What should he have done in the beginning, Greg?
have to go on such ridiculous diets, cutting out
What do you mean ridiculous diet? This guy is so unnatural. Look at his face and his neck and his body. He's so ugly because his genetics are all fucked because he eats slave food diet. He can't stop eating slave food.
everything just in order to go on a diet.
Oh, yeah.
All he would have had to do is cut out the cakes, the pastries, the cheese.
Don't worry, he has that in his books. The cheesecakes, the cakes, and the pastries. They're in his anabolic death book, the book that he's promoting, Greg Doucette. The slave food diet, the anabolic slave food diet.
Cake, the ice cream, the candies, the junk food, and he would have lost 20 pounds in a month. Do you really think it takes 3 months to lose 20 pounds when you weigh 370? That's Eddie Hall going for a dump. Or perhaps he was just dehydrated. And so now he's going to reintroduce foods into his diet that are only going to make his diet even easier.
Yeah, I think the diet's done me a world of good, feel fantastic, but longevity and sustainability, that's the main thing.
The diet
Yeah.
made me feel so good. It was such an amazing diet. I just can't stick to it anymore. The diet that you can follow is the diet that you can stick to for the rest of your life. I've already came up with the diet. It's a circle diet. It has my cookbook. You lose weight, you keep it off for life. Why? Because the meals are low in calories, they're high volume, high in protein. You're satisfied, satiated. You don't have to cut out any food groups. You get to eat all your favorite meals. You just make them lower in calories. That is realistic. Saying I'll never eat a fruit or a vegetable or have anything tasty ever again aside from milk, eggs, steak, and cheese, probably not going to be a diet you're going to follow for life.
And I enjoy fruit, I enjoy vegetables. I think little portions of them isn't going to do me any harm.
I'm pretty sure that when you weigh 350, you can handle more than little portions of fruit and vegetables. Oh, I could eat 4 asparagus. I don't think that would hurt me. Bro, you could eat an entire rainforest. You're not going to gain any weight. Little bit. What's he going to do? Have a small apple? Cut it in half, Mommy. I only want half the apple. It's Eddie freaking Hall!
I thrive. I feel so much better eating fats than I do carbs. So I'm not eating carbs anymore.
Had he ever thought that it was from eating 8 to 10,000 calories a day of cheesecake? I don't like carbs, I like fats, says the man that eats sugar. Tons of...
What about your anabolic French toast and cupcakes and whatever, donuts and shit, Greg? Greg promotes the same crap.
sugar. There's a big difference between eating a carrot, asparagus, and a kiwi than eating a cheesecake. And so if you cut out the shit food, I guarantee you'd feel better. And is it actually the fact that you cut out
He did cut it out.
all those food groups
He said he feels better. Yes.
that make you feel better? Or
What food groups? You can't digest fiber. You're a human. You can't digest, you can't do anything with it. There's no vitamins in these fruits or vegetables. There's just sugar and crap in there. There's nothing in there.
maybe the fact you're on steroids. I mean,
God.
how do you know? I mean, if you're doing two different things at the same time, namely steroids and changing your diet, how do you know it's the diet change and not the steroids?
Cod liver oil and whatever else.
Eddie Abu for breakfast is having 200 grams of salmon. Now, I mean, compared to any diet that he's been on in the past, does anyone not think this is healthy? Of course it's going to be healthy. He's eating salmon. And he says, you know, I'm big on the anti-aging. Everything I do, it's about living longer. Except I'm not going to cut out the steroids. I mean, why aren't we cutting out the low-hanging fruit? There are things that we can do, low-hanging fruit, that are the easiest things to do that'll make the...
He can't cut the steroids because the steroids are what make him. Without the steroids, nobody would be watching him. Get it, Greg? He'd just be a fat guy, an obese guy walking around.
biggest difference. Which do you think is going to help him live longer? Cutting out fruits and vegetables or cutting out steroids? Take your pick. And
I say both. I don't have to pick both.
so does anyone think that if he were to eat some of those blueberries on the table, not give it to the rest of his family, and he had some of those blueberries, that would shorten his life? Or perhaps maybe it's the testosterone
Are those wild berries or engineered?
in higher doses.
So raspberries, blueberries.
And so notice he's now adding in the blueberries. Thank goodness. He's got some fruits, some antioxidants, and his meal calories are 600.
Here we go with the antioxidants. There's no antioxidants in plants that can be used by humans. There's antioxidants in meat that you can't use.
75. If he had started his diet on this, remember, that diet's over. The carnivore
Just don't throw around words, Greg. Prove what you say. Come on.
diet's over. The experiment is over. It worked. If he had started with this diet, does anyone think he wouldn't have lost even more weight?
I was on a carnivore diet. I lost my voice at one point, and we put that down to acid reflux.
And the diet was perfect, never had any problems whatsoever, except for acid reflux, and I lost my voice. But no problems.
I think just from eating too much yogurt, but other than that, I've had no problem with the diet.
But he says that was
He's eating yogurt. That's not carnivore diet.
just from eating too much yogurt. Hey, if it's part of the diet that caused the problem, then that was the problem.
The only fruits I'm eating are only berries. So raspberries, blueberries, because they're the least carb heavy and they've got the most antioxidant.
And so he's left in raspberries into this new diet because they're least
Why?
carb heavy.
He's lying.
So carbs, they're the enemy. And so as long as I
They are
don't
the
eat
enemy.
carbs, mainly from raspberries and so on, I got it made. It's not the carbs, it was the cheese.
It is. It's the carbs. And it's the cheesecake and everything else. Cheesecake is made from plants, you fool. My God.
Cake and the shit, the pastries, the massive portions. Guys, Eddie, you can eat a banana and not have a problem. Let me know in the comments section, would you not want Eddie Hall to get turkesterone and GO2 max from his favorite tea plug? The
See, here we go. You should get off the steroids, get on the turkesterone, right? Is that it, Greg?
actual product that works, not the scam bullshit, not people
An actual product that works. It magically builds muscles out of thin air, dude ski. Yeah.
pretending to have it. We have the proof, we have the receipts, and so if you want our turkesterone,
Wait, don't forget the anabolic death book over here. Oh man, this is really funny. The estrogenic book.
Click the link in description. Hopefully,
Yeah.
Alcohol can decrease the
I'm clicking right now. I'm on it.
doses of performance-enhancing drugs, and perhaps try some that are legal. Some that won't cause you to fail a drug test. Some that are healthier. We don't want anyone
Those are healthier how?
to suffer a heart attack, stroke, and have any of the problems that can come from being 350 pounds. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm, like the video if you like.
Yes, I'm on it right now, Greg. I'll see you in the next one. Tell what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. See you in the next video, broski. This was some funny shit, man. I don't get it, but whatever.